Mental health is a crucial aspect of overall well being, influencing how we think, feel, and act. It encompasses our emotional, psychological, and social health, affecting how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Mental, neurological, and substance use disorders account for more than 10% of the global disease burden. The lost productivity resulting from depression and anxiety, two of the most common mental disorders, cost the global economy US 1 trillion each year. In low and middle income countries, more than 75% of people with mental disorders receive no treatment at all for their disorder. In Ghana, there have been efforts by the government to improve mental health care services at all levels. However, significant gaps remain, with only about 2% of Ghana's 2.3 million people living with mental health conditions receiving psychiatric treatment and support from health facilities, according to World Health Organization. This is Majid, a young man who came to Accra with his brother, full of hope for a better life. But Majid carries a painful story, a story of loss and stigma caused by mental illness.
My name is Abubakar Majid. I am from Jagun in the northern part of Ghana. I came to Accra with my brother and friends to build a better future. In some ways, life became easier. Instead of the hard work of farming we did at our village, my junior brother worked at a harbor and I worked as a scrap dealer. We worked so hard that the time we went home from work also changed in comparison to the village where we got home by 4 p.m. Now, we usually got home at 7 p.m. in the evening. At first, it didn't seem to be a problem since we already made up our minds to work hard and make as much money as we can. We started going to clubs where we would take alcohol and drugs. My brother said it was a sign that we are finally rich. We would usually come back home late at 4 a.m. in the morning and sleep for only 2 hours before preparing for work. We didn't have much sleep as a result. My brother started showing signs of stress. He was always tired, struggling to focus, and his mood changed a lot. Our friends didn't understand. They thought he was lazy and insulted him. They stigmatized him for he being so lazy. He withdrew from us, isolating himself. Unfortunately, one day, we came back home from work and found him gone. My brother was on the floor with pills in his hands. He had taken his own life. The doctor said he was battling a mental health disorder, but the stigma and loneliness, it became too much for him to bear. Due to the pain of losing a brother and the stress of my job, a friend suggested I take weed and drugs to relieve myself of the burden. One day, I saw a notice of mental health awareness. I was surprised my best friend, Rashid, had signs of mental illness. He was unable to cope with the daily stress, feeling sad, had extreme mood changes, excessive anger, paranoid, and he sure was always tired. Rashid didn't think he had a problem, but since I lost my brother to the same illness, he agreed to call the helpline number on the notice to meet a doctor. Sadly, the doctor said Rashid was also showing symptoms of mental illness. It turned out that Rashid and that of my late brother tiredness and isolation was a sign of his poor health. As the doctor was speaking with Rashid, I saw another notice about the causes of mental illnesses. The points on the notice stated 5 causes of mental illnesses, which were genetic factors, living in a stressful environment, childhood trauma, drugs and alcohol, and unhealthy habits. The doctor saw me reading the notice and added that certain factors, which include ongoing chronic medical conditions such as diabetes, brain damage as a result of serious injuries, few friends, or few healthy relationships, and a family history of mental illness may increase the risk of developing mental illness. The doctor said, people with mental illness, if not attended to, are more likely to have legal and financial problems, poverty and homelessness, self-harm and violent temper, weakened immune system, changes in sex drive, and heart diseases. It was a terrible moment, but the good news was that Rashid could control his mental illness and not get those problems. The nurse explained that our behavior of partying and not getting enough sleep was also a reason for Rashid's problems. To get healthy, he had to take good care of himself, get routine medical care, pay attention to warning signs, and get help when he needs it. Now, my brother and my best friend had mental illness. I realized the people I work with and I could also be victims. So when I heard that University of Ghana CSR Group 6 was doing a campaign about it, I decided to join them and educate people about mental health and how we can together stop and save lives. If you notice someone struggling, reach out, listen to them, let them know they are not alone. Together, let's break the stigma and save lives. Let's create a world where no one feels alone in their battle with mental health. I do not want anyone to suffer the same fate as my brother did. The change starts with you. Make sure you help a brother. Thank you. Please subscribe to our channel as well.